Okay, this tutorial is going to teach you how to have a transparent image on top of your photograph. So what I'm going to do is go to Pixlr.com, make sure you're using Pixlr E because that's a closer one to Photoshop. Then you're going to go down to Open Image. And you're going to locate both the drawing and the photo that you're using. So here's my photo. And you can decide what size you want to open it with. I wouldn't go as low as web quality. Too high might make a little bit of a lag when you're working. So I'm going to do Ultra HD, but if you want super high quality, try original. And then if there's a lag, redo this and choose something that is a lower quality and click apply. So right now I have one image up and it looks kind of grainy, blurry, but that's because this is a web-based program. When I'm all done and I download it, it should be higher quality again. Then I need to open up my other image by going to File, Open Image, and locate the best photo you took of your drawing or painting. Choose the size that you want to work with. I'm just going to do Ultra HD so I don't have lag, but please try original if you can. It's the wrong orientation, so let's go ahead and go to Image. We can go to Image Rotation, and we can rotate, I need to go clockwise. And let me drag this up so I can see my whole image. Okay, or zoom out. And I have a lot of extra stuff in the background that I don't need. So I'm going to go to Crop, and then I'm going to crop everything out. You could also do this on your phone that you took the photo in if you don't want to do this step in Pixlr, and I'm going to hit enter. Now it's too dark in the background. I want to try to make this as wide as I can without losing the quality or the values in my image. If I make it too light, I might get too much white inside of my painting. I'm going to go Control plus to zoom in so I can see what's happening. So here's where we can play with brightness and contrast. So you're going to go up to Adjustment and Brightness and Contrast. And then I like to up the brightness to get rid of that darker value in the background. And I do like to up the contrast a little bit to bring back those darker values. So play with that until you get it to look how you want it to look, and click Apply. So now this is ready to go and be merged into the photo. So what I'm going to do is select all, and I'm going to copy this. So Edit, Copy. And then I'm going to go to my photo. So click up here to go back and forth between the two files. And then I'm going to go to Edit and Paste. And it should make another layer up here. When I resize this, if I hold down Control, it'll keep the proportions. If I hold down Shift, it'll like warp it. So we don't want to hold down Shift. So undo is Control Z. And so I'm going to hold down Control. I'm going to adjust the size to make it kind of fit. I can adjust this more later, but I'm just going to try to get as close as I can to where I think it needs to be. And then hit Enter. Or you can click back here and then that will apply those changes. And then I'm going to play with the blend mode. So I'm going to click on the three dots and I'm going to change the blend mode to multiply like we've been using. You can play around with these other ones and see if you like anything that happens with it, and if you don't like it, hit Control Z to undo or go to Edit, Undo. So multiply. So here is the problem that we have. It's just a little bit too transparent, but now I can see my background, so I'm going to hold down Control, see if I can adjust this. Oh, it's not going to let me. Let me get out of that. Let's see if it'll let me now. Okay. I'm going to make this a little bit larger and place this exactly where I want it. But wherever the brightest areas in the photograph are, I'm able to see my drawing more. So that's why I can see my face more because of the sky, and I can see my legs more because of the lighter color of that concrete. So if I want to see this part better, then there's certain things that I'm going to have to do to make that work. And then I'm going to click on the eraser tool. And I'm going to make sure that my brush is, a good size. I'm going to make sure that it's pretty soft. And I'm going to make sure that it's not taking it all off. I only wanted to take off layers. So I'm going to make it into the 20s for opacity. And so what I'm going to do is go over that edge and blend it out. And every time I'm making a pass, I'm taking off 28% of that value until it's like all gone. So I want to do that wherever these edges might be. And I can't really tell over here too much, but kind of blend out some of that yellow. Oops, don't do that in your face. Control Z for undo. Just getting rid of any of those borders from that original image. Now what you're going to do is, I might like it like this, and I might want to keep it like this, how it's very transparent where the dress is, or I might want to be able to see it better. And so I'm going to show you how to do that now. In between these two layers, we want to put a new layer. And we want to choose, so click on the plus sign. We want to choose an empty layer. We don't want to have anything else in it. And I'm going to drag that and sandwich it in between my drawing and my photo. And then what we're going to do is take the idea of, if it's lighter behind it, we can see more of the image. So I'm going to take my brush tool. I'm going to make sure I'm on white or a light color. Or what you could do is you can paint drop or something, or take the color. So if we do the dropper tool, you can take the color of the thing that's like closest to it. So if I wanted that concrete color, I could do that. Or just white. I'm just going to go with white. And I am going to then take the paintbrush and then make sure that it's not 100 here, it's in the 20s. And I want to make sure my brush is pretty soft and it's a size that's going to work. So that's good, it's not too big. I'm going to go Control plus, zoom in. And anywhere I want the image to show a little bit better, I am going to put a little bit of this white. And so right now I'm painting behind my drawing, but I might want it to be really transparent, so I could leave it, or I can just enhance a little bit of it. And let's see. Around the edges, I might not want too soft of a brush, because I might want a crisper edge, so I could go back and change the brush tool so it's not so fuzzy. But now it's a little bit easier to see more of my body. And so at this point, I could be completely done with the project if this is the way I like it. It's a good idea to save your file. And so what we're going to do is go File, Save, change this, and rename it something like your name, your first name, last name, final. I'm going to call this Campbell Final. And then I want to save it as a JPEG and then go back and save it as a Pixlr document just in case something crashes. So we'll start with JPEG. High quality, bring that up to 100 and click download. And then that photo is ready to submit. And then hit close. And then I'm going to go back and save as a Pixlr document. So I'm going to rename this Campbell Final. And then PXZ is your Pixlr document. And then click download. The reason why you want to save it as a Pixlr document is if you clear your cookies or cache, you'll lose all of your work. So always download that after you've worked on something so that you're able to reopen the file with the layers. The JPEG won't have the layers, and click close. Now at this point, I think it's a good idea for you to start experimenting with other parts of Pixlr, because you might come up with something that you like even more. So to do that, you're going to click on the layer with the actual image. And then I want you to play around with all of these different types of filters. And so there's a huge long list. I could just play around with mosaic and see what that does. So right now I just have to increase the amount. And then, that might be too much, but who knows what might work well for your project. So I'm going to hit cancel. Anytime you apply a filter and you don't like it, just click Control Z. And then pixelate, let's see what that looks like. So that's more of a square instead of a triangle. I'm going to hit cancel. And then you have glitches are interesting. So if you do fringe, it kind of takes the colors and it separates them. So it's taking my images and making one color of the image larger. You have filter, glitches, RGB, and then you can change the distance, so you have quite a bit of control here. How you want to go with that. I'm going to cancel that. Filter, glitches, oops, Control Z, filter, and you can go ahead and try, all of these different interference, or slice is kind of cool. So if I make line go on, I play with the amount, it's going to actually slice my body, which could look kind of cool, but then I might have to go back and hide, I don't know, certain lines. But kind of awesome. It makes you feel fractured or sliced. So cancel. And then there are also, so you can go play with those. There's also the effects library that you could play around with. And there is artsy. And you can just see how these different filters, and of course if you did this you'd have to feather out the edges, but a quick way of looking at all these different styles that are in there. You can play with those, and then go back. Let's say that I did accept that. I might have to go and sample this color and then use a paintbrush transparently and kind of fill that part back in, or get rid of the background altogether. Control Z to undo that. So another direction that you could go in your experimentation process is to apply the filters to the background instead of the subject. So this whole time I had the subject selected while I was playing with the filters. So what happens when I click on the background and I play with those same filters? So let's see, if I go to glitches and fringe and then increase the amount, it gives me a whole new look. So try experimenting on the background too, playing with the filters and seeing if that does anything to enhance your meaning. You can turn in more than one image if you like multiple ways that these could come out for your grade. Turn in 2, turn in 3, whatever the case might be. And that is it for this tutorial.